Only a little thing. You know, it's the little things in life that count, that tell us what we are. Anyhow, I like this little poem. It was only a little seed, carelessly brushed aside, and it grew in time to a noxious weed and spread its poison wide. It was only a little leak, so small you might hardly see, but the rising waters found the break and wrecked the great levees. It was only a single spark dropped by a passing train, but the dead leaves caught, and swift and dark was its work on wood and plain. It was only a thoughtless word, scarce meant to be unkind, but it pierced as a dart to the heart that heard, and left its sting behind. It may seem a trifle at most, the thing that we do or say, and yet it may be that, at fearful cost, we may with it undone someday. I think it should be, we may be undone someday. We'll have many regrets someday for the little things that we've missed. M.P. Handy. The touch of your hand in mine, just a touch of your life on a life. It makes so many things, just a little thing. One little detail by Gordon Retzer, president of Southern Union. As a boy, I enjoyed practicing the piano because I enjoyed pleasing and honoring my piano teachers. I had the normal desires to give in to the temptation of shortcuts. But my teachers had a way of inspiring me to greater and greater ability because of their exceptional talent of mixing high expectation with affirmation and encouragement. I have to remember that. Affirmation and encouragement does a lot for people. As I progressed to more difficult classical numbers, it became a challenge to conquer every aspect of the piece. It was a joy to know I had mastered what at first seemed impossible. When I was 13, I studied with a master musician who it seemed to me could play any piece of music. But she was a stickler for details, every detail. One afternoon during my lesson in her upstairs apartment, it's a man, he asked me to play a difficult exercise that was very fast and technically challenging. I had practiced for hours and knew it by memory. While I was playing, he heard a loud knock at the door and made his way down the steps to see who was there. My fingers were flying on the keyboard. From the stairwell, he yelled back at me that on the right hand, I had used my third finger instead of the called-for fourth finger. Now, I play the piano my own way, but fingering never was simple, you know. But anyhow, that man knew that upstairs he was playing with the third finger instead of the fourth finger. I stopped in shock, for he was right. How could he tell without looking that I had substituted the fingering? When he came back up, I asked him, every finger on the piano has a certain weight and produces a certain tone. He shared. His trained ear could tell a slight mix-up of fingering, even though the music was so fast, the average person couldn't tell the difference. I played the section again with the correct fingering, and it flowed more smoothly. He had noticed a microsecond delay because of the substitution. His ear had detected a slightly different tone. It has stayed with me. I respected him even more. I didn't argue with him. I was glad he was so careful about what most people would think of as minutia, because my goal was to be the best that I could be. I didn't consider it criticism. I considered it caring, for he knew that I didn't want to be the least bit sloppy. in even the most difficult assignment. He taught me that attention to details produces excellence. And let me tell you, he had a lot of excellence in his life. Whenever I fly, I always hope the pilots are fanatical about details. When someone I love has surgery, I hope the surgeon is focused on every detail. Why would we be tempted to resent God for helping us with the details that make us better persons? In my mind, it doesn't detract from the knowledge that I'm fully and completely saved by grace. God loves me with such intensity. He knows it is the little things that will make a difference in my journey. Jesus liked it when a poor saint put a few pennies in the offering plate. God notices the little kindnesses and the desires we have to know his word, not generally, but specifically. And he is and the Sabbath day is a significant detail. Regular exercise is life-enhancing detail. Beginning the day listening to God is a soul-filling detail. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also much. And I tell you, that's been a byword in my life. And I'm not as skilled in details as Gordon Retzer, because he was one of the greatest of God's men. But maybe just a little thing, but it may do a great deal of damage or good. And we want it to do the good. We want to partake of that which is, want to be faithful in that which is least. God bless you.